Good morning. I hope everybody's day is off to a good start. Apologies in advance if it's a little loud where I am at. I'm walking along the beach in one of my favorite areas next to Diamond Head. This is a really cool little walkway between two parks that's directly next to the ocean. So we'll see. I might get kind of wet here. In today's video though, what I wanted to talk about, something I think is really important, is the 18 things that I think everybody needs to know. The waves are coming in, so I'm gonna get wet. Let's see. But in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about the 18 things that I think everybody should know before they move to Hawaii. So let's see if I can do this without getting splashed. I'll just give you a little bit of a view where I'm walking. It's just beautiful. Oh my God, just so beautiful. Yeah, this is why all of us choose to live here. It's so many different things. It's just so beautiful everywhere you look. The mountains, the ocean, the culture, I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to have our little paradise out here. So, all right, back to the video. The 18 things that I wish I knew before I moved to Hawaii. So, number one, kind of a funny number one considering what we just looked at along the ocean. But number one is that the weather actually isn't always perfect. Kind of obvious, right? But I think a lot of people move to Hawaii, myself included, thinking that the weather was always going to be just perfect. I actually bought a motorcycle out here right when I moved out here back in 2014 or 2015. And I thought it was going to be a great way to get around. But since Hawaii has so many microclimates, when it's sunny and dry on one side of the island, when you ride to the other side of the island, it actually can be wet and windy, so it was super unpredictable. So the weather is not always perfect. We had a really hot year this year from September to November. It was pretty hot, but before that it was fairly cool. So that's number one. Weather isn't always perfect. Number two, you actually don't go to the beach every day. Another somewhat obvious point, but a lot of people, I'm from a landlocked state in the Midwest, and I think the idea is, oh man, I really want to live somewhere like Hawaii where I go to the beach every day. And although I might do that in retirement, lifestyles just don't really permit that, I'd say I go to the beach maybe once a month, twice a month, max. We've got our 2-year-old daughter now, so we've got a beach about a mile from our house that we walk to. We do walk there, I don't know, twice a week, I'd say on average, but we just don't go to the beach all too often. All right, number 3. Hawaii doesn't have any national banks. National banks being Chase. We don't have any Chase. We don't have any Wells Fargo. We don't have any Citibank. We don't have any US Bank. There are no national banks here in the islands. And that can make things a little bit complicated. I'm sorry it's so loud here. I'm actually walking right beside Diamond Head. This is one of my favorite places to walk. But yeah, I guess we're getting a lot of morning traffic here at sunrise. A lot of people are prepping for the marathon too. Marathon is, I think, like less than 3 weeks away now. So everybody's out getting their training in. But yeah, no national bank. So when you get here, you've got several options. Hawaii-based banks. So you've got Bank of Hawaii, you've got American Savings Bank, you've got First Hawaiian Bank, and you've got Central Pacific Bank. And I want to say those are the big four. And then there's a bunch of credit unions out there too, you know, depending on what you're looking for. I personally really like Bank of Hawaii. I think they've got, you know, great technology, really modern branches, super friendly. Haven't had such great experiences with First Hawaiian Bank. No offense to anybody who works there. I'm sure you're amazing. Just my experiences haven't been too great. So yeah, I really like Bank of Hawaii, but a lot of people really like American Savings Bank and Central Pacific. I've banked with ASB as well, and I did like them too. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 4 is that your lifestyle is going to shift for the better. Because when you live in a place like Hawaii, I mean, when you surround yourself with all this beauty, I don't know, it just kind of takes a weight, takes a load off of you. I've definitely experienced that. I actually moved to Hawaii after deploying to Afghanistan in 2013. You know, I was going through some stuff, you know, a little bit of PTSD, some anxiety, all that good stuff that you come home with, right? And that was one of the driving factors of why I wanted to move here, because I wanted to live in a place that I thought was going to help rejuvenate me, you know, and I just wasn't getting that back home in the Midwest. So yeah, you're going to have just so much more outdoor time. There's so many great hikes here. So it's really, I mean, you have to try hard to not have a good time here. Number 5 is your friends will become your family. I can't tell you how many times I've, you know, done holidays, had holidays with friends. Either they come to our house or we go to theirs. Because, you know, the reality of living in Hawaii is your family doesn't usually come with you. So, you know, either you go back to the mainland every major holiday, or, you know, you kind of make your friends your family here, which is what we've done. And I love that, you know. It's nice to have people out here that you can really rely on. And yeah, become really close to. Everybody needs that. So, number 6 is that homes out here in Hawaii are built differently. So we have such a mild climate out here. And because of that, there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily required. Well, they are now, but, you know, back when some of these houses were built between the 50s and the 70s, they had, you know, not as great building standards. So we see a lot of homes with single wall tongue and groove construction, which, you know, is an inferior build quality because it has no insulation. It has poor structural stability, in my opinion. I mean, you can beat me up in the comments below. But yeah, I stand by that. But the biggest thing for me is poor insulation quality, because you know, we do have hot summers here. From August to November this year, it was in the 90s like almost every day. Very little wind, and so that's when that insulation really comes in handy. So just something good to know. A lot of the homes here and condos also don't have AC, and they have jalousie windows, and so it's kind of just everything mixed together, which makes it just, you know, why I added this on the list, that homes are just built different. So it's just something you want to expect when you move here. I get a lot of complaints about jalousie windows because they let a lot of sound in, they let a lot of air in. So what you really want to look for is properties with dual pane insulated glass. Just helps reduce sound, helps reduce air transfer, so your home stays cool. It kind of acts as an insulator a little bit. So anyways, not to beat a dead horse on that one. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption, but if you're getting value from this video, can you do me a favor and like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel? We're a new channel, so that's going to help us out tremendously with the YouTube algorithms, getting the word out to more people so that we can help more people learn more about our beautiful island. So with that, we're going to head back to the video. Thanks so much. Number 7, rush hour traffic is to be avoided at all costs. I get stuck in it every once in a while. And as soon as I get stuck in it, I just start shaking my head. I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have gone out at this time, but it can be pretty bad. So, you know, if you live in Hawaii Kai and in the mornings heading into town, your only option to get into town is Kalanianeole Highway. So it gets really backed up, and then the reverse of that at the end of the day, going back into Hawaii Kai. You know, and then everybody knows the Heva Beach, Kapolei, Waianae area, same in the morning heading into town. And at the end of the day heading back, it just gets backed up. So, I mean, there's not a ton you can do about that if you just work, you know, a normal job in town. But it's just something to be mindful of. Which leads me to number 8, which is you're really gonna wanna try to live close to work if you can. Obviously, that's not always an option, but it's always recommended, especially here. If you can live close to your work, it's gonna really cut down on your commute time. And you know, the less time that you spend in your car, the more time that you're actually able to spend with your family or just enjoying your lifestyle, the better off you'll be. Nobody moves to Hawaii to spend hours and hours every day in their car. I know I don't. I didn't, but some days I do. It's unavoidable, you know. If I'm showing properties on different sides of the islands, you know, I get caught up in it, but I usually try to plan my day around traffic a little bit. So, all right, number 9. There's several restaurant chains that do not have a presence here in Hawaii. So, just something to know. I'm sure nobody moves to Hawaii for the Chipotle. But that's good because you're not going to get any here. You're not going to get any Chipotle, no Qdoba, no In-N-Out Burger. We did just get some Chick-fil-A's, which is cool, but I don't know. I'm not really a huge fast food guy, so that doesn't really appeal to me. I guess the ones that I really miss are like Chipotle and Qdoba. Just love to go get a really nice burrito. We do have paniolos for my fellow burrito lovers, but that's about it. Number 10. Hawaii has some of the best sunsets I've ever seen in my life. The mix of being in the islands, being out in the Pacific Ocean with just a perfect climate, it really makes for great conditions just to have some of the best sunsets ever. And you know, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna add rainbows to that list too, because this is the Rainbow State after all. So we just have such a great climate. Yeah, check this out. Everybody's coming out for sunrise today. Yeah, I love that. Right. Alrighty. Number 11. The lifestyle here in Hawaii is very chill and relaxed, and that makes most everybody here very relaxed, and I really like that. One of the reasons why I wanted to leave the mainland was I felt like so many people were just in the grind, working for the man, and you know, a lot of people just, I don't know, when that's your whole goal out of life, I don't know, you kind of lack some of that warmness, some of that personality, and yeah, I don't know. I just kind of got tired of that, and so being here really made me appreciate that more. A lot of people are very relaxed. There's a reason why Hawaii has some of the highest life expectancy in the country. It's because, you know, just lower stress lifestyle. It's hard to be stressed on an island. All right, number 12, kind of following up on the last one. Hawaii tends to attract very kind and mellow people. I think I did mention that in the last one, but whatever. We'll add a new number for this one. Yeah, I really love that. It seems like the people who end up wanting to call Hawaii their home, we're all very like-minded people, it seems, you know, that I've noticed. People that move out here do so because they want to participate in what Hawaii has to offer. And Hawaii is a very relaxing, mellow, beautiful place. And so the people that move here tend to all want that. I think that's really nice. I haven't been to many places in the world that had that in common, where most of the people living in that area all had a very similar thing in common. And on that note, I always think that people that end up in Hawaii have a really interesting story. It's always fun to hear. It's always fun to hear people's stories on how they got here. All right, number 13. Doing weekend trips to the neighbor islands, or even to Japan for that matter, is fairly easy to do, and it's fairly affordable too. You know, from the mainland, going to any of the neighbor islands, you know, it's pretty expensive. Same goes for Japan. But I've gone to Japan, and I think my round trip tickets were like $350 at that time. You know, that was a highly discounted day that I flew. But even for the neighbor islands, we've got Southwest Airlines in the islands now. which is good. And the reason it's good is because competition is always good for the consumer. So we've got Southwest Airlines, and now we've got Hawaiian Airlines, both competing for riders, for customers, which brings the price down. So for neighbor islands, I mean, on a really cheap flights, you can get round trip for like $100, and Southwest includes checked luggage. So, and then when you live in Hawaii, you start to discover all of the places where all of the places that you kind of want to stay, just to like not completely break your bank, you know. I've stayed at places on the Big Island like Mauna Kea Resort, which is absolutely incredible. I was there for a company retreat several years ago, but you know, that sort of place will break your bank. You know, I think we had discounted rates of like $525 a night, and I split a room with a colleague of mine. But yeah, when you live here, you kind of discover the more affordable places that make more sense for people who live in Hawaii. Like my wife and I, we love going to Volcano National Park, because I'm prior service military, and so I'm able to stay at the Kilauea camp over there. So we can get a whole cabin with a really cool like wood fire stove, and you know, we're gonna go for her birthday in February, and they've got a place called the Eisenhower House, which is really cool. So for $200 or $250 a night, we rent like this whole small little house that has a lot of history to it. President Eisenhower stayed there. So super cool that we can do that. And there's a bunch of places around the islands like that, and you start to kind of hear through the grapevine what these places are. So another one, for instance, is, and of course this is for military, but maybe I'll think of other options that are non-military, but Bellows. So the Bellows base in Waimanalo, you know, it has beachfront campsites with showers. It also has cabins. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, and then yeah, one other. Yeah, well, I guess those are the two I'll leave with there. So, you know, this actually kind of leads me to the next one too, number 14. That there's a ton of options for staycations, from, you know, kayaking the Nepali coast, which we did as a couples trip with two other friends of ours, two other couples of ours. So we kayaked on the Nepali coast for 3 days and camped at the beaches. Best trip of my life, I'd say. Best like adventure trip of my life. Absolutely incredible. You know, you can stay at an Airbnb in Waikiki pretty affordably. It's a pretty good staycation option if you're looking for more city life with restaurants and whatnot. You know, you can. We've gone mountain biking down Haleakala on Maui for my birthday several years ago. So you can rent these mountain bikes and mountain bike down the entire mountain, and it's absolutely incredible. And they also have a really great winery on Maui as well, called Maui Wine. I really love they've got, I think it's a Sauvignon Blanc. It's a great wine, so highly recommend that. But yeah, there's just a lot of great staycation options here, so it's really nice. You can really get to know the islands around you. We love all the islands, not just Oahu. We chose, well, I guess I chose Oahu because I moved here before I met my wife, but I chose Oahu because, you know, it's kind of like the everything island. You've got, you know, Hawaii's commerce here, so a lot of businesses, you know, you're always going to find a job. Things are always in demand. You've got access to a bunch of restaurants, banks, everything you need is right here. Costco, Best Buy, Target, whatever you need. But then also you've got the nature, and you've got, I can't remember, but I thought I had heard that Oahu has the most sandy beaches of any of the islands. Let me know if that's true or not down below in the comments. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of why we chose Oahu. You know, we just love it here. So yeah, but everybody has something a little bit different in mind that they're looking for. But yeah, I think Oahu, it really has something for everybody. If you're a surfer, you know, you're probably going to want to be up on the North Shore. If you're a young professional, you're probably going to want to be in Kaka'ako. These are obviously very loose generalizations, but yeah, there's really something for everybody here. So number 15, I might get a little slack for this one, but if you don't surf when you come to Hawaii, you probably won't surf when you get here. I mean, you might go a couple times, but don't, and that's okay, you know? You don't need to feel the pressure. Oh yeah. I just had like a huge like, oh crap moment. I'm like, oh wait, did I turn my mic on? Yeah, it's on, we're good. Wow, that would have been terrible. But yeah, that's okay. If you don't pick up surfing when you get here, you know, one of the things is that you come to Hawaii as you are, and that's okay. You know, you don't need to become anything when you get here. Just come as you are with an open mind and a good attitude, and oh my God, you're gonna have the best time ever here. But yeah, I've surfed several times. I bought a surfboard, but you know, I never really made it a part of my routine. And I always tell my wife, like, God, I need to go out and surf more, but it's just not what I grew up with. You know, we are kind of creatures of habit in that way. We tend to stick to things we know. Not everybody, of course. There's always outliers to this. And if that's you, more power to you, because the more you get out there in the ocean, the better off you'll be. I need to get in there more, so maybe I'm preaching to the choir here, preaching to myself. But yeah, that's okay. All right, number 16. People in Hawaii are generally very kind. You know, a lot of the cultures here in Hawaii are based on respect, and so it's very simple. Very, very simple. You know, if you show other people kindness and respect, you know, if you kind of have those really good attitudes, those good vibes, people are going to show that right back to you. We live in a very multicultural neighborhood. We bought a house in this neighborhood a couple of years ago, and we've got neighbors from all over the world. We've got Japanese, we've got people from the East Coast. We have Japanese that have been in Hawaii for, maybe 100 years, where their ancestors worked the sugar canes. We've got Chinese. We've got other people from the Midwest. I guess the only thing we don't have is European. But I guess I'm European, but we haven't been back in Europe for a long time. And then my wife is from Mexico originally, so it's just such a mix. It's such a melting pot, and we love where we live. All of our neighbors are so sweet with us, and vice versa. You know, we share fruit. You know, some of our neighbors' mango trees are producing, and so they'll come over and give us some mangoes. And my wife will make mochi for them, and she makes a great mochi. So it's just really nice. It's so nice that we share those things. You know, all of our neighbors are going to get our Christmas card to see me, my wife, and our daughter. So it's just like it's just really nice. But yeah, just come to Hawaii with a very open mind and just with kindness in your heart, and you're gonna do really, really well. Make a lot of friends and just have a really great lifestyle. So, number 17, I find that the cuisine in Hawaii is very Asian based. What do I mean by that? A lot of the flavors, that have developed here in Hawaii are very rooted in like Japanese cuisine, Chinese cuisine, Filipino cuisine, Vietnamese, and so that's a pro and a con. It's a pro because you end up getting some of the best like Japanese food that you've ever had. We love going to several Japanese restaurants. I really love Shokudo on Kapiolani. I'm spacing right now, but my wife has her favorite Japanese restaurant actually right down the street from our house. Can't even think of the name right now, unfortunately, but there's so many great spots for ramen, for udon, for sushi. It's incredible. But the downside of that is that you kind of lack diversity in the cuisine, which, I tend to notice maybe more than my wife, because she just can't get enough of sushi and, her seared ahi. But, I cross the street here real quick. There we go. Actually one of my favorite restaurants just closed down recently, and I was so disappointed. It was a Mexican restaurant in Chinatown called Encore Saloon, and it was actually the first place that my wife and I went on our first date, so it had a lot of sentimental value to me. First place that I tried mezcal, and I love mezcal, so needless to say, I was very disappointed. So we really don't have a lot of great Mexican restaurants on the island, so I'm always looking for new places. If you know of one, let me know in the comments below, please. It's so funny, my wife is from Mexico, and it's like I want Mexican food more than she does. I think it's kind of obvious, right? She grew up with it, so she doesn't want to eat it all the time. But I just love the Mexican flavors, chilies, tortillas, chips and salsa. I sound like such an American when I say that. Chips and salsa. But yeah, it's the little things. I just love those kind of salty, tomato-based sort of flavors. All right. Last but not least, number 18 is that obviously kind of obvious here. The cost of living in Hawaii is very expensive. And so before you move to Hawaii, you're going to want to make sure that you secure a great job before you get here. Now, if you're PCSing to Hawaii as military, more power to you. You're already set, you're good to go. But if you're not, and Hawaii is more of a lifestyle move for you, you're really going to want to get that dialed in before you get here. You really don't want to be figuring that out when you're here, because you're just going to burn through your savings. It's great to secure a job before you get here, or just make sure that you're financially secure enough to be here and have a comfortable lifestyle without securing a job. So that's, a lot of people are in that position too, so that's great if that's you. But yeah, Hawaii, very expensive. It's gotten a little bit more expensive after COVID with all the inflation and all the crazy things that are kind of happening in the economy. So I just want to make sure I set you up for success, and you don't end up moving out here with you know, $1,000 in the bank and struggling the entire time. That's no fun. I know a lot of young people end up doing that because it's exciting. You know, they're coming out here and they're gonna make it work regardless of the cost. And I love that attitude, but man, it's gonna be a brutal few years for you. So, all right, guys, it's been real. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment below. Let me know you like this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.